Hey, this is Joe from the Recording Revolution. Metaphors and stories stick in our brains a lot more than just straight information. That's why I tend to use them a lot, even without realizing it, to explain the technical stuff that we have to do here in our home studios. Today, I'm going to share with you 3 microphone metaphors that will help you get amazing results in less time on your next recording session. But all the great microphone recording techniques in the world won't help you if the stuff you're recording is a little on the boring side. I've got a cheat sheet, a checklist that will be your companion on your next recording session to make sure that you are doing things that are interesting, engaging, and fun for the listener to listen to. You can have it for free. It's a single page checklist, and it comes with a video explaining all the different boxes and what they mean. So go get your free copy at recordingrevolution.com/checklist. Metaphor number 1, the mic is a flashlight. Now, the metaphor falls apart immediately because a flashlight is an output device and a microphone is an input device, but they both see things in very similar ways. Let me show you. So think about a flashlight trying to shine and illuminate my hand in a pitch black room. If I put the flashlight right here next to my hand, what do we get? The flashlight can see a small portion of my palm. Maybe that's what we want to see because I do have nice palms, but let's say we want to see my entire hand. Maybe we want to see my wedding ring. That's useful information. Or maybe see the entire hand, or maybe my whole arm and body if we're going crazy. But the fact that the flashlight will only see what we allow it to see applies perfectly to microphones, specifically talking about directional microphones that pick up in one direction, which typically most microphones do. So this SM57, for example, if I'm going to mic my face, if I put it right here next to my mouth, I'm mostly just getting the sound of my mouth, which probably works great for most vocals. Sometimes, though, getting it up here with like a pop filter where it's getting a little bit of my nose in my mouth and maybe backing it away just a little bit, that might be a better sound because, believe it or not, or accept it or not, the bulk of our tone as singers comes through our nose. Like you can't, that's why when you hold your nose, your voice sounds different because so much of the sound in the air is coming out of your mouth and your nose, and those two combine to create your voice. So if you are just getting the mouth, you might not get all of the nose. Now that's not a super great example, but with guitars, if I put this if I point my flashlight/microphone right here at the 12th fret, it might, depending on the situation, sound amazing. Maybe that's the exact sound that we want, but as we move the microphone away, we're getting more and more of the instrument. Now, you may think, okay, so maybe I should just put the microphone 3 feet away. Well, then guess what? You're seeing the instrument, but you're also seeing the room. And sound waves and light waves behave pretty similarly. A sound wave will go here and bounce off and go in a different direction. A light wave will do the same thing. So if my microphone can see a bunch of the walls and a bunch of the rest of the room, that means it can see all the sound reflections of my guitar. So I play my guitar, get out of the way. I play my guitar from here, the microphone's mostly getting guitar. But if I back up 12 feet, then it's getting guitar. It's also getting the sound of the guitar hitting the ceiling, hitting that window, hitting that wall, bouncing off the floor, bouncing off something over here. It's picking up all of that. Now the guitar will still be the loudest part, right? But it's getting all of that as well. So it's not that one is right or wrong per se. It's just that the microphone will see whatever you allow it to see. If you get too close, you're maybe missing out on the complexity of the instrument. If you get too far away, it might be seeing too much and get a little overwhelmed, and you can't focus in on the sound that you want. Metaphor number 2, the microphone speaks to you. It's a communication partner. It will tell you what it wants. Now, I know that sounds wonky, but my process for recording anything is to make an educated guess as to where the microphone should go based on past experience. If I've never recorded a thing, I just make a guess, and I put the microphone there, I set things up, then I record it, a little section. Then I listen back. And then this is the thing that a lot of people skip over. They just throw a mic up, and if it sounds like the instrument, they're good to go. But after recording a little sample and listening, I'll then go readjust the microphone. Now, if it's perfect the first time, great. Sometimes it is, but sometimes it needs to be moved a little bit. Maybe a little closer, maybe a little farther away, maybe angled differently. But there's lots of things we can do, and the microphone will tell us when it's in the right spot. Sometimes that comes easily. Sometimes it takes 30 minutes of really honing in and finding that perfect place to place the microphone, but it will tell you what it wants. And the good news is, if it's like, for example, my Gibson J45 acoustic guitar, when I first got it, the normal mic method of putting the microphone right in front of the guitar at the 12th fret didn't sound as good as I wanted it to. I eventually discovered that if I moved the mic over here, closer to like the 7th fret, pointed back down towards where the neck meets the guitar, that was the magic placement. Of all the placements I tried, that was the one that sounded, like the guitar as I was holding it, but also it just sounded amazing in general. So that was one of my go-to placements. So I don't have to do this process of 30 minutes of searching out mic placement every single time. If I've already recorded that guitar before, then my educated guess is to put the mic in the same place I did before. Then still listen and make sure it's right if it needs some small adjustments. Then I can start with my recording session. The microphone is your buddy. It tells you exactly what it hears and sees. Now you just have to listen to it and respond appropriately to get a great sound. Metaphor number 3, your mic is an instrument. Just like this is an instrument, just like this is an instrument. There are situations where this guitar is the perfect sound for what I need for the song. There are situations where this is not the perfect sound. This is a humbucker guitar. It's big, it's beefy, it's thick, it's wonderful. Sometimes I need something with single coils that is chimey and cuts through differently in a way that this guitar simply can't. Now I can try to use the EQ on the amp, the EQ in real life, to make this one sound like an approximation of this one, but this one will never sound like this one, really. So when we talk about getting it right at the source, one of the things we're talking about is choosing the right instrument for the part. It's the same with microphones. It's another choice where you really should choose the right mic for the job. Now, typically we're talking about, we've got condenser microphone right here that I'm speaking into. We've got dynamic microphones. We also have ribbon mics. They sound different. This sounds different on an acoustic guitar than this. And choosing the correct microphone for the job has big implications on how the final project turns out. We know this to be true when we're doing vocals. We tend to pick the right mic for a vocal track. Sometimes we kind of phone it in when it comes to miking other things, but changing the microphone is one of the most fundamental ways to change the tone of what you're recording. Even two microphones in the exact same position will sound sometimes vastly different because they're decidedly different instruments and will hear the world in a different way. It's a wonderful problem to have, and so if you don't have more than one microphone, I'd encourage you to find another one, even a cheap microphone, something that would just give you a different tone. You'll suddenly find that all your instruments now have a whole new range of tones because you have a new way of capturing them. All right, that wraps it up. Which one of these was your favorite? Leave a comment below, or let us know if you have another metaphor that you like even more. We'd love to hear that. Leave a comment and let us know. And if you have not downloaded my ultimate recording checklist, go to recordingrevolution.com/checklist to get your free copy today. Thanks for watching. See ya.